Hey guys, this is Dr. Brian Opp from Opp Family Chiropractic right here in St. Francis. And today I want to talk to you about a specific nutrient that many people think we get enough of, but we actually don't. It is iodine. So often people think if I just get enough salt, the ionized salt, so the Morton salt is the most popular one, obviously, that you'll see in the grocery store, that is enough iodine in my diet. Well, that's not the case. And after reading Iodine, Why You Need It by Dr. Brownstein, and a few other of his books, it's becoming very apparent that we are living in a society around the Great Lakes, especially, that used to be called the Goiter Belt. So that is the reason why they started putting iodine in salt. And then they started putting iodine in bread. Up until about 1980, he reports that they changed the iodine in bread to bromide, which is very close to it in the periodic table, but it doesn't do the same thing that your body needs. You are not a bromide needing individual, you are an iodine needing individual. So why is iodine so important? So most people think of iodine as being a anti-goiter. So you like reduce the goiter on your thyroid gland. So people think of iodine and thyroid right away, but it's also very much needed in your other tissues like breast tissue. For guys, it's prostate. Also for females, it's ovaries. So right behind the thyroid, the most amount of iodine that is needed by the body is in the ovaries. So what does that do? That helps balance your estrogen levels, right? There's progesterone, so it's also needed for some adrenal gland function, things like that. So some things that I learned here. One interesting fact that I learned was that it's linked to IQ. So lower iodine status in a pregnant individual, pregnant mother, you will then have a lower IQ child. It's also then shown if you have a low iodine area, just in general, the children will be smaller. And that's how they discovered the issues going forward back in the days when they found out that iodine was needed by that. So those are a couple of the things. So how do you test for iodine? Well, there is a serum test, and what I've researched here is that anything under 92, you are under a low iodine body. So 92 on a lab test for serum blood. The best way to really do it is to take a loading dose, and they get this test from either FFP labs or Hackala labs, where they give you some iodine and then you do a 24-hour urine test to see how much you pee out, essentially. So the more you pee out, the better your iodine status is, so your body doesn't need it. The less you pee out, the more you need it and the more you're deficient. So in the book, based off of 6,000 patients, 96% of his patients were deficient in iodine. He's in Michigan, which was part of the Goiter Belt there with Ohio, who first discovered all these issues. Minnesota is also a very low iodine soil status. We've essentially reduced all the nutrients in soils, and that's been known since the 1950s. So iodine is very protective of other tissues just in general. It's anti-cancer, it's antiviral, it's antibacterial. Heck, you can go to the grocery store, to to CVS or Walmart, to the pharmacy, and get a little bit of an iodine dropper, and you can put that on like fungal infections on your feet. Is very common for that. So that's a very interesting thing. So why is salt not enough? Well, salt is just enough to not have you have a goiter. It doesn't do anything for the amount of nutrients of iodine that is needed, like in the breast tissue and the thyroid. So you're talking multiple grams, so at least 50 grams for your body to be able to actually process and utilize iodine at a good level. The General Medical Society has been scared away for some reason from using iodine because they think that it creates a hyperthyroid issue. And in his book, he dispels that myth, and there isn't any research that's been shown to say that. So, when a rumor starts to get snowballed by a bunch of different people, and it becomes truth for no apparent reason. So yes, there is, but I would still want to have you tested. But there are safe levels that you can start with and do that. So if you are going to start taking iodine, we want to take some steps first. So you're going to need to do some salt, some Celtic sea salt. I like Redmond's Real Salt out of Utah. It's a great company, very small. So it's getting salt from a reputable place, essentially. So you want to do some salt in the morning, because when you start taking iodine, you're going to be displacing things like bromide. Fluoride is also in there. So when we use fluoride toothpaste, fluoride's in the water, so that is also displacing iodine. So salt isn't enough to be able to just get you the amount of iodine that you need. So you're starting to see some things there. That is the reasoning why. So you need some salt in the morning. We use some vitamin C, other nutrients that I really like, selenium to help with thyroid issues as well. Zinc is very important. I like to test a zinc and copper ratio to see where that level is at, because that can also be a heavy metal issue as well. But yeah, definitely want to do those couple of things so that you can make sure you do not get sick from using iodine right away. Because when you start displacing or reducing the bromide in your body, it's got to go somewhere. And so it needs to be captured by that salt. And we're in a low salt diet era. We still are. We shouldn't be fearing salt. It's not the salt. It was the food we're eating that the salt was on. So we've been using salt forever, and it has not been. Low salt diets have not decreased hypertension levels by any means or any kind of heart disease at all. So in the book, it's 1/3 of the world's population live in areas that are low in iodine in the soil. So it is an epidemic that isn't being addressed at all. So if you guys are thinking about, looking at certain nutrients, do you have low thyroid function, especially that's usually where we're going to start with. If you're on a thyroid hormone, he addresses that in his book. So I suggest you go to his website, Dr. Brownstein. .com, and you read the books on there. He's got one specifically on thyroid that I'm reading right now. There's one on salt. So all these books are kind of piggybacking on some of the similar things, and iodine is a very big player in his arsenal to help with his patients. So, and he talks about and addresses all the issues that are brought up on iodine. And if you are on a medication for thyroid, what can you do? What should you be doing? Stuff like that. So if you're interested in a little more information on how we address thyroid function, definitely give our office a call. We can help you guys work your way through that, get the testing that you need. He talks about some of the tests in the book too on the thyroid. So it pays to be able to have somebody who is knowledgeable and is continuing to learn to help you guys have a better, healthy lifestyle. So I'm Dr. Brian Opp, here to help you with your overall health.